Welcome to Shaving Basics, Razor Edition. By definition, a razor is an instrument with a blade or a combination of blades that is used to remove unwanted hair from the skin. I know that when you go to a big box store and you look at that aisle, there are a ton of different options. Anywhere from the super simple to the much more complex. But with how many there are out there, how do you choose? How do you know which one you want to start out with or which one you want to move to from the one that you're already using? Well, hopefully I can help you with that in this video. There are some basic kind of categories that you can put razors into. The first category of razors that we're going to dig into today are disposables. Now you can find disposables just about anywhere from gas stations to hospitals where they're shaving you down with them at. They're very cheap, as in I got all 5 of these at a local store for just $1, even in today's economy. Now, part of the reason why they are so cheap is that they are just a molded piece of plastic with a very cheap little shave strip put on the end, as well as 2 metal blades. They're molded in one piece, which means that their head doesn't move and they don't have any creature comforts to them at all. I find that they're only really good for an emergency shave or in case if you're traveling and you don't want to take the chances of losing your good razor at home. These are a fairly decent option, and as stated, you can pick them up pretty much anywhere. Now, what's it like to shave with them? Well, every time that I have, it never came out pretty, and I found that they definitely don't do a clean job of shaving, at least the ones that I've used in the past. And even if you do happen to get a good shave with them, you're still going to be tossing a lot of them into the trash, which means that they are definitely far from eco-friendly. A step up from the disposable razors is going to be your standard cartridge razor. Now, these are probably the ones that you're used to seeing and used to looking at. There's a ton of different brands as well as a ton of different features that can come on a cartridge razor. Some of them have a pivoting head side to side as well as up and down. The more features that are on the razor handle, the more expensive the razor is going to be. Now, you'll be keeping the razor handle, which is a plus because that's going to be less that's going to be going into the trash, which means that all you need to buy is the simple little cartridge razor head. Now, you can get these anywhere from 3 blades all the way up to 6, all depending on the razor handle that you have chosen. The handles will usually come in a plastic or a metal variety, so it really all depends on if you want a heavier handle while you shave, which can have its benefits, or you prefer a lighter handle. Now, you can buy a razor like this with maybe a couple of blades for about $5 all the way up to $100 plus, all really depending on what you're looking to spend and how fancy of a handle and a head you want on your razor. One common feature that I have seen in most of these is that the heads will have some up and down movement, which really helps with not having to worry about if you're getting the perfect angle on your face or not. Now, as far as shaving goes, well, these work pretty good. They definitely get the job done, and paired with the right lubricant, you can get a nice shave with these. However, it can be very fiscally as well as environmentally unfriendly when you are having to buy the razor heads because they are not the cheapest thing ever. I found them from 95 cents for some of the off-brand third-party heads, all the way up to $2 a head. And because that's coming in multi-packs, you're dishing out a pretty penny every year Now I will say that cartridge razors are a decent razor to begin with. They are fairly simple, they're easy to find, they're easy to get a hold of. Now, although I used the cartridge razor for many years, I have found a razor that I like better, for me anyway, and that is a safety razor. Now, the first safety razor came about in 1903 when Gillette introduced their first one. Safety razor, by definition, is a razor with a guard that helps reduce nicks or cutting yourself. Now, although both of the previous razors could technically be considered a safety razor, if you're talking to somebody about safety razors, this is what they're going to be talking about. Now, most safety razors are going to be metal with a couple of pieces acting as the razor head with a very thin double-edged blade in the center. However, you can now find them with epoxy handles as well as plastic, fake ivory, and if you get a hold of a really old one, some that even still have the ivory handles on them. But that's going to be rare and only for collectors, so you don't need to worry about that. Now, one thing with safety razors is that there are a combination of different factors that you would need to know about to really be able to choose a good safety razor that would be for you. Because there's different handles, there's different head types, and different uses for some of those specialty razors, as well as then you've got butterfly ones that open up instead of unscrew, and there's just a whole bunch of information on safety razors that if I put that all into this video would just be way too long. So I'm going to do another video specifically for safety razors in the future. However, what I can tell you is that the blades are very cheap, and you can get the heads and handles for these anywhere from $5 to $150 and up, all depending once again on how fancy you want to get. But I have to say that even the cheaper ones do a fairly good job. And one of the really nice bonuses about a safety razor is the blade cost. Because you can get a double-edged razor blade anywhere from 6 to 80 cents a piece, all depending on the brand and such. And these usually come in packs of 5 or 10, and many places just kind of bundle a bunch of them together so you can try different blades as well, because believe it or not, that's another factor that does come into a safety razor. You can get different combination heads with different razor blades, and it will act differently. Now, even though that there's all those different combinations, I have to say that I have not found a double-edged razor yet that did not work for me. Now, if taken care of properly, the handles and heads will last you, well, pretty much forever. And because the blades are just a razor blade, no plastic added, it means that you can save those up and recycle them at your convenience, which means that these are probably one of the most eco-friendly razors that there are. Now, I'm not going to pretend like everything is perfect with a safety razor just because it's my favorite. Because honestly, there is a pretty big learning curve to using a safety razor, as well as a few more care techniques that you need to take when using a double-edged razor, as well as there's a little more danger in cutting your fingers when you're putting it together. So it's not all perfect. However, I do think that it is still well worth looking into or getting a double-edged razor. Now, the next category of razors is kind of a scary one and definitely takes a very steady hand and practice to use, and that would be the straight razor as well as the shavette. Now, if you're wondering what the difference in them are, it's pretty simple. The shavette, you do have a single edge blade that you can replace, where a straight edge, you're gonna need to be practicing your honing skills as well as stropping it to keep it nice and sharp. Now, if you don't want to learn how to strop and how to hone your straight razor, you're gonna want to look into the Shavettes because of the handy replaceable blade in them. It's fairly easy to do, and it ensures that you have a sharp blade every shave. And the replacement blades for the Shavettes range anywhere from 4 to 75 cents a piece. And like the safety razors, there's a bunch of brands that sell them. Now in the case of both the straight razor and the Shavette, they kind of look the same and they function the same, as well as they both store with the blades in their handles, kind of like an old-fashioned pocket knife. Now just like most of the razors that we've talked about tonight, there are many different styles of handles as well as blade types and shapes and profiles for the straight razor, where you can get some different handles and such for the Shavettes. Now the prices for these go anywhere from $5 all the way up to $300 plus for some of the specialty makers of the straight razor. Speaking of a straight razor, they have to be the most cost efficient razor that there is, even after you look at buying a strop to keep it nice and sharp, as well as any blocks, because literally this will last you forever provided you keep it sharp and you keep it maintained properly. Now the straight razor as well as the Shavette is not going to be a razor that you're just going to pick up and learn how to use. You're going to want to do some research on it. You're going to want to watch some videos on it and some how-tos to really understand the nuances of a straight razor, because you can do some serious damage with these if you don't do some preliminary research first. Now both the straight razor and the Shavette are definitely advanced razors for shaving, so I would suggest kind of working your way up to them. Get a double edge razor first before you really dig into getting a straight razor, because it will kind of help you learn to hold the blade at a 30-degree angle and a few other lessons you can learn with a safety razor before you go straight for a straight razor or a Shavette. That being said, I do think that somewhere in a man's shaving life, he should learn how to shave with a straight razor, because there's just nothing quite like it. Now I debated on staying with just those categories. However, there has been some recent changes in the shaving market that definitely don't really fall under a safety razor, but they are a safety razor and kind of herald to those times, as well as there's another razor that is a safety razor but has a different mechanism for changing the blades, and so I had to make a other or hybrids category. And two of the razors that I'm talking about are from Leaf. The Leaf itself as well as the Twig. These are both razors that use a DE blade or double edge blade that is broken in half. So you have a single edge blade right here, and then you've got a razor here that can use 3 half blades or 2 or 1 depending on your liking, and that's the Leaf. And it's got a moving head, which I haven't seen on any other DE blades or half blades before. So this and the Twig are definitely ones that you may want to look into if you like that multi-blade shave, or if you're looking for something that's like a safety razor without all the thought of the angle that you're holding it at and stuff. The Twig definitely accomplishes that with a nice comfortable hold, and pretty much no thought needs to go into the shave whatsoever. Then you also have injectables, which there's not many of them out there from what I can find. However, there are a few, and basically how you change the blades out on those is you have a little magazine, and the magazine has blades in it, so you can easily push out the old blade, push a new one in, and you're good to go. Now, one thing with the leaf razors as well as the injectables, they seem to be a little bit more expensive. The leaf ones are a fairly new product on the market, and they have slowly been coming down, and they do go on sale from time to time. And of course, I do have videos on both of their products on my playlist. And there are your categories of different types of razors that you can get to shave your face with. And I would highly suggest, if you're looking at a specific type, really look into all of the options that are available for you, because like I said, a lot of these have different options to them, different blades available, different prices on the blades is going to be an important one, especially if you're looking at cartridge razors, because that can add up a whole lot quicker than you think it will if you're not careful with that, and make sure that certain blades for the one that you want are readily available as well. Now, if you have any questions about any of the razors that you've seen today or on any of my videos, you can ask me on my socials or ask on the video that you have the question about. Like this one, please, if you have any questions about razors, please make sure that you leave them down below for me, and I will try to answer to the best of my ability. To see me shave with this single edge razor, make sure to check out this video up here. Down below, that's going to be a video that you may enjoy as well. Until next time, as always, you have a good one.